peace, and blessed be the fruit. So it is a beautiful Monday, moon day, ruled by the moon. I want to, first of all, give thanks. The topic that we're going to talk about today is what exactly is alignment. We talk about aligning all the time, but what exactly is alignment, right? So we're going to talk about alignment. However, I just want to give thanks to the people that have reached out and to the people that showed their love and gave their condolences to my mother's passing. I've experienced emotions and feelings that I never knew I even had, and so I've just been working through those and feeling everything in a raw form. I don't mask my emotions or feelings anymore. I used to, but now I prefer to feel everything in its most purest and rawest forms and go through the ebb and flow of my emotions and feelings and things that, come up when it needs to come up. With that being said, I also know that my mother would never want me to be the type to sit back and constantly mourn and to not live my life, because she lived a very beautiful life. She loved music, she loved dancing, she loved helping people. She went through her own mother's death, and she did that gracefully, watched her through that process. And so I am wanting to mimic the same. And so I just want to first start off by saying thank you guys for being present and listening to my story. And I hope anybody that was going through it, which some of you did share recently that you have or have in the past, that that this is what this life is all about. Nothing is ours. Nothing is in the physical form meant to last forever. I know that my mother is present, and also not even my mother, but my grandmothers as well. I've always known this to be true for myself. There has been readings that I used to get in the past, and they always say that I have these grandmother-like entities roaming with me, which I know are my grandmothers. So now to add to the list, I have my mother with me. And for me, that is the most prized possession, because I have her now in the most truest and divine form. Not that she wasn't before, but of course this physicality of life has you compartmentalize a lot of emotions and feelings, and so I don't think we really get the fullness of people in this reality. And so to kind of feel her through the unseen realms of things now in a more spirit way, in a conscious way, I'm thankful for that. So thank you. Now moving forward, what is alignment? When we speak about alignment, what is it truly? Okay, I feel like it's dark. Let me just come over here. I'll have to hold my phone. I had a phone holder and I just don't know where it's at. It's probably in my van somewhere. So, attention to where you're focusing and piercing your light is what alignment is about. All right? Your attention to a certain thing, place, person is your alignment. That is the frequency. That is your currency. All right? Please know that when I say this, there is nothing wrong with meditation, affirmations. There's nothing wrong with visualizations. There's nothing wrong with journaling. Most of those things is work, all right? We're putting in work to create a certain outcome. Your attention to something, not to say that it's not work, but it's a steady flow of energy. Your light, which comes from your pineal gland, your light beyond the light that the eyes can perceive, is what is allowing you to experience things in your life. All right? Where attention goes, energy flows. We hear this all the time. Dr. Joe Dispenza talks about it. He repeats it over and over again because as cliche as it sounds, it is the truth. Where attention goes, energy flows. Now, everything exists in the quantum field, but your truth is what determines, and what you focus on, what you put your attention on, what your alignment game is only one reality, which is your reality, my reality, their realities, okay? Her reality, his reality. We all have our own realities according to what we focus on and what we find true for ourselves. In order to begin to shift your reality, you can do all of the external things if you want to, if it makes you feel better, if it feels like you're doing something for your life, you're making effort, but it is only going to be a small percentage of change or transmutation or transformation compared to if you really focus on the piercing and attention through your focus. All right? Every reality that you desire for yourself, every experience that you desire for yourself already exists. There is nothing to manifest, there is nothing to create. This is all an alignment game, and your alignment is your attention to that thing. All of the how-tos, seminars, step-by-step programs, gurus, retreats, like I said, it all will assist you to feel better about your life, that you're actually doing something. But the true energy of getting to where you want is through your alignment according to the attention that you are giving something that you want to hold tangible in your life and that you want to see come into fruition in your life. Does this make sense? Everything is created from atoms. Everything holds a certain frequency to it. The only reason why something will come into your life and has come into your life is because you've given it permission to exist. It is what you continue to focus on. It's the story you keep telling yourself, and it's the program that keeps playing on repeat over and over and over again. Not knowing yourself creates fear, because when you know yourself, you become an alchemist and you transmute your reality, you transmute the energies, you transmute your experiences. The more that you begin to pierce something with your light and view it as such, and you have intention behind it, and you have a feeling of knowing it to be true for yourself, that's when things come to you like clockwork. All right? It's literally like transformers, right? I always see it as a transformer. A transformer will remain the same. If you pay attention to the transformers, it remains itself until it has a purpose to go out and do something, and then it has to transform and transmute itself in order to get itself into the space that it needs to be. All right? So you're transmuting your current reality in order to get to another space of yourself. And you have to be aware of this. This is crucial. If not, you're going to be in that wheel that continues to move and move and move, but goes absolutely nowhere. You are in this loop that doesn't end. So everything in this reality that we're currently in, especially within this last, I'd probably say decade or so, has been taking us away from putting our attention on the things that matter and placing it on other people and other things. That's what social media is all about. It's about taking your attention away from the things that you truly desire for yourself, right? You probably, this may not be for everybody, know everything about what they call the superstars, the stars, all right? Reality shows, what's happening in their lives, what's happening on TikTok, what's happening in the world. You probably can sit back and know exactly what is happening because that is where your attention is going. Yet, you sit back and question why your life is a certain way, okay? Why things aren't coming into fruition the way that you would like them to. Why is it taking so long for things to come into my life? Because the same attention that you're giving everything external that has nothing to do with your life, which is purposely placed there for you to put your attention on, you are piercing your energy into that, and you're giving your sacredness, you're giving your energy to those external things, and you're not feeding yourself. You're not knowing yourself. You're not diving into yourself. You're not taking intentional steps to begin to learn not even learn, know yourself, because there is nothing new under the sun. There is nothing to learn. It's just that your attention is going into places that aren't fucking serving you. You're being stripped and stripped and stripped every single day when you wake up, focusing on what's happening on social media, engaging in other people's bullshit, engaging in family situations that's toxic, engaging in relationships that aren't serving your greatest self or higher self. All of those things are stripping you of your energy force, of your life force. And then you begin to bleed, you begin to bleed, you begin to bleed all of this energy. And then you wonder why you're so tired. You wonder why you don't have the energy to get up and create. You wonder why you don't have the love to give to yourself. Because you're so concerned about everything external. You're leaking all of this energy to everybody else. And until you truly, truly grasp this, everything that you want to align yourself to is sitting there waiting, waiting, waiting for you to say yes, and for you to finally show up, and for you to finally see yourself for all that you are, the power that you hold, the worthiness that you deserve. So, with this, your alignment is your attention. That is what alignment truly is. You're focusing, you're direct focusing, you're intentional focusing on something like clockwork every single day. Pay attention to the amount of energy you give everything externally. And all of that energy, replace it and give it onto yourself and watch things begin to shift in your life. The universe doesn't give a shit of how many books you read. Knowledge is great. Knowledge is beautiful, actually. However, it doesn't give a shit about how many retreats you go to, how many psychics you see, how many therapists you see. It doesn't compute that type of information. The information that it computes is your sincerity and your intentional focus on aligning yourself, feeling that mind-heart coherence. They're connected. Understanding the laws of the universe, the Hermetic principles, astrology. That's huge. Realizing that the 12 disciples are just the 12 zodiacs within yourself. Realizing that heaven begins at the heart and moves forward up to the crown, and hell is the lower chakra system. All of these right? Embracing the equilibrium on March 21st and September 21st, when the equator is balanced. These are the days that we're missing, that we should be honoring, because we are to begin to be balanced in that state, because we are one. There's nothing separate. As above, so below. Whatever's happening in the ethers and within the planets is happening within us. There's a lot to know of oneself. And if you waste your time on petty shit that's stripping you of your energy because they don't want to see all that you are, and they don't want you to begin to see all that you are, you're going to keep questioning why nothing is happening the way that you want it to happen in your life. I was looking through my YouTube and For You page and all of those, and I was at work while I was on, looking at my YouTube, and I seen like all of the videos and shit that was on there, and it's me. Your social media is a portal of all that you are. Your For You page is a representation of what you're giving your energy to. If you can't currently see yourself in the form that you are, take a look at that shit. Take a look at your playlist. What is it that you're really listening to? What are you feeding yourself? Because we're so used to being on automatic pilot that sometimes we don't recognize these things. And most things, if we're not accountable for our energy field, is stripping us of our essence. All right? So, yeah. Your alignment, the true essence of alignment, is where your attention is flowing, where your light is piercing. And we're always aligning ourselves, whether by design or by default. But now it's time for you to design, with intentions and with focus and with knowingness. All right? So again, thank you guys for being present, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I love when you guys comment, and I love engaging, so that's always important. And if there's any topics, I know one person wanted me to do the topic on love and relationships, so I promise that is going to be my next video. It's just that I have these downloads in the mornings, and so I always like to kind of get them out there, because as I'm speaking to you, I'm speaking to myself, because I'm looking at myself and my reflection. So I always like to make sure that I get it out, and so I really don't have like set topics to discuss, but I will definitely get on how I feel, my perception, my interpretation of my life when it comes to love and relationships. All right? So I love you guys. Thank you for being present, and remember that you are an infinite being with limitless possibilities. Everything that you desire is always in the quantum field. You just have to align yourself with your attention to that thing. All right?